to lower your voice, nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss a wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the queen makes it make sense. So true.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Sunday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. And also don't forget that for the members today, there is a special members only True Crime Sundays live. Okay, that should be posted by at least 6 o'clock. Okay, so don't forget to tune in for that. With that all being said, hello, Vince, I am from the UK, says hashtag buy all. Vince, you are so messy. Okay, talk about buy all haters, aka all wigs. Okay, all hell no is in the house. OG Patrice, G from the Lamb, Buckhorse DC, Miss Nessa G. All right, Christopher is here. Claudette, Most Hated Bronze Flat Power God. Let's get into it, Nessie X. All right, Broken Silence is here. Leon, Deronda, Khalid. All right, shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, we the people. LeVar is here, Juju, Perplex, Desmond. All right, and a special shout out to my moderators because y'all know they put in work. Okay, so let's get into it. But first, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com, and she sells beard oil as well. All right, I see Laverne has popped in to grace us with her presence, and also Cassandra. And LeVar, thank you for becoming a member of the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so let's get into it because let me tell you all something. There is so much wickedness going on in the churches these days. I mean, what is really the deal here? Okay, let's get into it because all of these pastors that we're going to be speaking on today have been accused of various nefarious things. All right, and two of them have ties to none other than Donald Trump. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And that makes a grand total of people that have been accused of doing things with people that are not of age. That makes the list grow even further with Trump, okay? And maybe this is why he doesn't want to put out those Epstein files. Maybe this is why he's trying to, take our minds off of it. Do you all know that they said on the day of Charlie Kirk's demise that they had they had all voted to have the Epstein files released? Did you all know that? They were supposed to be releasing the Epstein files the same day that Charlie Kirk passed away. Now, that could be a conspiracy theory, but that's what people have been saying. And I find it very interesting. And it's probably true as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And so, once again, Trump has found a way to sidestep talks of Epstein, but it's not going anywhere. All right. It's not going anywhere. Sooner than later, he's going to have to come clean. Okay. So let's talk about it because first, let's talk about Pastor Robert Morris. Pastor Robert Morris is Trump's own advisor. Now, they say he's Trump's former advisor. I don't know when he became former, probably after he got arrested and charged. Okay. Mega church pastor who advised Trump admits to child abuse. Okay. And I'm talking about the sexual nature. So let's talk about it. Let me just give you a detailed profile of Mr. Robert P. Morris, first of all. He's a senior pastor whose career has recently been in the news. Now, he was born July 29th of 1961 in Marshall, Texas. He founded Gateway Church in South Lake, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas and Fort Worth, okay? And in the year 2000, after serving as a youth evangelist and traveling evangelist, under his leadership, Gateway developed into a mega church with multiple campuses and a large weekly attendance. Morris is also an author of a number of Christian books and is known in evangelical circles for his teaching and media presence. Well, who knew what he had lurking in the back door, hidden and tucked away in a closet? All right. In 2024, the church announced that Morris had admitted to inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady in the 1990s. Interesting thing is, it was no young lady. It was a 12-year-old, okay, an adolescent. But let me continue. Now, according to the account, the woman alleges the behavior began when she was 12 years old and lasted for several years. Okay, in March of 2025, Morris was indicted in Oklahoma on 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child. This was in March of this year. Now, in October of 2025, just days ago, he pleaded guilty to those charges under a plea deal. Now, his resignation from Gateway senior pastor role came in 2024 in the wake of the nefarious allegations. All right, Morris has had significant influence in conservative evangelical networks and was reportedly a spiritual advisor to U.S. President Donald J. Trump himself and involved in mobilizing evangelical voters, just like Charlie Kirk was doing. Well, Charlie was getting, voters mobilized, but not necessarily evangelicals. But I want you all to pay attention because doesn't it look and sound like all of the things that they've been accusing the left of doing are the same things that they themselves are doing? Doesn't it reek of hypocrisy and contradictions? Okay, what say you? Because I find this all very interesting and shameful to boot. And to think that Trump was just talking maybe a week or so ago, about how nobody better not say anything against Christian lest they get consequences. Is this why he wants people to be silent because of all these things that are coming out? And there's going to be more to come. Trust and believe. Okay, this is not the end. You see, the Most High is exposing these devils. That's what's going on here. You see, just like when they tried to have that little thing with Charlie Kirk, they tried to say it's a funeral, but really it was a rally. Okay, we all know what it was, where they spewed their hate and vitriol and all of that, talked nasty, talked about avenging, and talked about they don't know what they've done and all these things. And they're one by one, they're being exposed. And I want you all to really pay attention to this because their text messages got exposed with the young Republicans. Okay. And now come to find out the White House already knew about what was going on with the text messages. Oh, but you know what? We're going to talk about that in the morning. I have some scoop on that. Hold on. Hold on, beloved. I'm making a note to myself. Okay, now I had to make a note for myself. Now, with that all being said, this is all very shameful, and then Trump sits there and tries to deny knowing any of these people when it comes down to it, like Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, they weren't good friends, but y'all were best buds for 10 years. He said he didn't even know Prince Andrew. Imagine that. This man said at some point that he didn't even know Prince Andrew. Well, of course he did. Weren't they all at Jeffrey Epstein's island? Okay. But anyway, Goes on to say, for the church and its members, the situation puts pressure on Gateway to rebuild trust, to manage fallout, membership loss, and, of course, the financial impacts. So, for evangelicism more broadly, it raises questions about accountability. Okay, accountability mechanisms in large churches, how allegations are handled, and how leaders are restored or not. Now, for political influence, given the past proximity to high level political figures, the case underscores how church leaders with political ties can become liabilities when misconduct emerges. Yeah, I find this all so interesting, you all. Find this all so interesting. But hold on, because we're going to be going over some videos about some of these nefarious pastors. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you in advance. Hey, Measured Man. Okay, here we go. Let's start with a pastor who has ties to Trump. His name is John Paul Sheptock. Let's get into it.
You're not going to believe this one, or maybe you will. A 49-year-old worship minister slash influencer slash gospel singer from Texas, a man who spent years leading people in prayer, singing about redemption, and sharing his story of perseverance, has just been arrested on charges involving CSAM. His name is John Paul Sheptock, and he is known across Christian circles for one very specific reason. He was born without arms. People saw him as an inspiration. He toured churches across the country, told crowds how faith got him through the darkest times. Parents brought their kids to hear his story, a man who against all odds used his voice to lead others to God. But according to investigators, the truth behind that image is much more sickening. A teenage girl told police that Sheptock hacked into her iCloud and stole a private photo, none that was never meant to be seen by anybody except her. And then he allegedly used that photo to blackmail her, demanding more explicit images through Snapchat. And when she resisted, he sent her a video of a girl being violently assaulted, implying that could be her if she didn't do what he said. She says that he even showed her other nude images of kids using fear, shame, and manipulation to control her. And detectives say that this went on for years. And when they arrested him, he wasn't hiding. He was actually inside a prison already, doing ministry work inside a woman's prison. Authorities seized his church computer, searched his home, and say that they found evidence consistent with the production and possession of CSAM. Now he's facing felony charges that could carry up to 20 years in prison. But here's the part that always makes me sick, because we all know what's going to happen next. The plea deal, the reduced sentence, the he's found the Lord again excuse. And that's exactly why I created a petition, which is linked in my profile, to stop plea deals for child predators, because justice for kids should never be something that you can negotiate. So if you believe that predators like this should never get a deal, go to the first link in my bio, sign it, share it, and help make some noise, because no matter how inspiring someone looks on stage, it means nothing if they use their story to hide evil behind it. As always, drop your thoughts about this in the comments, and of course, make sure to hit that follow button so when we have more updates on this story, you don't miss them.
A pastor known as an inspiration for having no arms has just been arrested for CSAM. This is John Sheptock. He was born with no arms and one of his legs shorter than the other. He's associated with the First Montgomery Church. He's known as an inspiration for dealing with the adversities of his disability. He's also known for going to prisons and speaking and preaching there, as well as singing. All of this came to a halt, however, on September 29th of this year, 2025, when he was arrested for distributing child prawn, which we're going to call it like it really is, which is CSAM. He was found and arrested while he was ministering to prison inmates at the time. Some of his accusations include gaining access to a teenager's iCloud account, stealing private photos, and then attempting to coerce her into sending more explicit images. He also showed this same victim nude photos of underage girls. Following his arrest, the church immediately made a statement saying that John had been arrested on these charges and that they removed him from all responsibilities at the church.
It's crazy how this continues to happen and Fox News is absolutely silent. A Texas worship pastor named John Paul Sheptock has been arrested for possession and production of CSAM. And as you can tell from the image to the left there, he was an avid fan of Donald Trump, even going as far as having a picture taken with him. He's 49 years old and was arrested Friday after deputies located him at the Dr. Lane Murray Unit Prison in Gatesville, where he was providing ministry services to the inmates. As of Tuesday, he was out on bond. The constable's office received information that Sheptock was allegedly in possession of the materials, including videos and images of a child under under 18 engaged in conduct. Here's how he did it. He accessed an iCloud account of a teenager who is now an adult, where he found a photo of her exposed. The woman said she took the photo in her home and sent it to her boyfriend. However, Sheptic threatened to tell her parents unless she sent him more photos through a Snapchat account he set up, according to the documents. At some point, the teenager was at Sheptic's home where he allegedly showed her photos of other underage girls. This guy worked in the faith industry for several years, including as a singer with a prime ministry band called One Percenters. I can't believe how common this pattern has become amongst MAGA church leaders and pastors. The self-proclaimed party of family values always gets exposed for the very crimes they pretend to condemn.
Well, what do you know? Another Republican, another...
Out of Montgomery County, where authorities have arrested a church leader accusing him of disturbing child pornography.
Now, how does a pastor with no arms still find a way to grab a hold of child porn?
John Sheptock was the worship minister here at First Montgomery Baptist Church. The alleged victim testified the crime started 9 years ago when she was 17. Court records show she told detectives she believes Sheptock stole a photo from her iCloud photo account. Quote, after the defendant sent the image of victim, he told her that he wanted more explicit images of her. The defendant then sent her a video depicting someone being physically assaulted, accompanied by a statement implying that he did not want that to happen to her.
Oh, I know. You just kick your feet up and do the damn thing.
Records show she testified why she didn't come forward at the time, quote, due to her parents' strong religious beliefs. The victim was concerned about how her parents would react to the fact she had taken a nude photo of herself.
And if you're asking, how do I know that he's a Trump supporter? Look at his Facebook profile. That's his picture right there. Let's zoom in a little bit.
This court document goes on to say the alleged victim told detectives Sheptock showed her multiple nude photographs of adults and young girls on his computer.
But don't worry, he's been arrested. He's in jail. I mean, look at how they took him into custody.
Detectives report accessing a text message they say shows he sent a nude photo of young girls to the alleged victim as recently as last October.
I mean, you just can't make this up. You know how dedicated you got to be to have no arms and still find a way to distribute child porn and still give it out to other people with your feet? Unless there's a second person. I mean, what's the second arrest? If he didn't do it, someone helped him, clearly. That's all I'm saying. All right, all jokes aside, they continue to fit the MO. White, male, Republican, religious.
Okay, so there you have it. Another person who has ties to Trump. You all saw him there on the picture with Trump, and someone who looks like he would be so innocent. It's really amazing. And here he is again with Donald Trump's son. All right. Look at him looking so innocent. Sheptock in God's hands. That's what it said. All right. Out here doing dirt, even though he has no hands. No less. Okay, I'm sorry. This is all so nefarious. Imagine threatening somebody. Imagine. Now, I want you all to think about the kahunas it takes for this. For you to sit there and threaten someone, send them a video of someone being assaulted and basically alluding to the fact that this is what you're going to do to them if they don't comply to your demands. And yet you have no arms. Isn't that something? I wonder what he was going to do. This is so sad. But this is the state of affairs. This is somebody who's in the church. Okay? Somebody who is in the church teaching the youth. And there's plenty more where he came from, sadly. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Because next, let's talk about this other pastor, Pastor Kevin Jones.
Pastor facing dozens of charges now, accused of sexually abusing students in his congregation. So far, 6 men have come forward alleging that Thomas Pinkerton abused them between 2006 and 2010.
Police say 7 young men came forward to report Pinkerton's alleged abuse.
Facing 24 counts related to child sexual abuse offenses.
52-year-old Thomas Pinkerton will remain in jail without bond.
He was a youth pastor at Central Christian Church, happening at the church and inside his home.
Pinkerton is accused of kissing the boys ranging in age from 12 to 17 at the time of their abuse, telling them, quote, "This is how Jesus greeted his disciples," end quote.
including massages, hand-holding, hugging, wrestling, and kissing.
Many of them also reported Pinkerton would bring them to his home, give them massages, and touch their genitals. He also has been a pastor in at least 5 states and ran mission trips to other countries.
Right now, another investigation is underway in Georgia for similar accusations.
He's been in Georgia. He has a family in Georgia, a wife and 3 children. He's actually a member of pastor of a church down in Georgia.
In addition to the 6 victims here in Maryland, another victim has come forward in Georgia, and police worry there may be more.
All right, so unfortunately, we have another perv in the pulpit. This one coming out of West Virginia. 33-year-old Kevin Curtis Jones. He's a pastor of Summit Church in Elkins, West Virginia. Now, he was initially charged with soliciting a minor via computer, which is a felony offense under West Virginia law. However, they've added some more charges to that ass after they seized his devices and found some, of course, CSAM material. Y'all, let's talk about it. So according to the criminal complaint filed by officers of the goddamn law, they received a complaint that Pastor Kevin Jones was contacting a minor via electronic communication. So they decided that they were going to get a search warrant to seize all of his electronic devices, which they did. And when they went and located the pastor at Smoky Bottom Campground, the alleged victim, the subject of the initial complaint, was in the RV where he was. So the alleged victim is 18 now. She rolls out of that RV, honey, and officers of the goddamn law are eager to speak with her. And she tells a story that the pastor began contacting her and other juveniles around Christmas of 2023, saying that he wanted to be in a secret relationship with her once she reached adulthood. Well, officers of the goddamn law went ahead and arrested Pastor Kevin Jones on the spot. They said that he was grooming and doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing using that cellular device. And there was actually some proof of this. But baby, when they got inside of that cell phone, baby, they found some images of this girl along with others in very compromising positions in underwear and things like that. It's bad. So now they done tacked on some more charges. His bond has not been updated, but it was $50,000 cash. The bond hasn't been updated, but I'm pretty sure it will be. So he's behind bars. Now, this is him just a few weeks ago in that Charlie Kirk shirt. Freedom, freedom. Yeah, You should have been freeing them babies and not growing them. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So, of course, he's been removed from the church, and he's currently behind bars. Probably never should have been at the church in the first place because he's a nasty, nasty dugout. All right, y'all. Y'all put y'all thoughts in the comments. Disturbing. Just another day of a perv in the pulpit. This is the...
Okay, so you all see that? This is absolutely shameful. All of these men are pastors, and most of them deal with the youth in the church. And the parents are trusting them, of course, with their kids because they're looking to them as figures of authority, as counselors and mentors and things of that nature. Okay, and these are the things that are happening. Oh, so shameful. Now let's talk a little bit more about that pastor who was Trump's spiritual advisor, and then we'll get into a couple of other ones. Now, the founder of an American megachurch who advised President Trump in his first term has admitted to assaulting a young girl in the 1980s. Robert Morris, a pastor who founded the Gateway Church in Texas, pleaded guilty to 5 charges of lewd and indecent acts with a child as part of a plea agreement with the Oklahoma State Attorney General's office on Thursday. Now, his 10-year sentence, now wait till you get a load to this. I want you all to listen to this because here's the thing. Although he pled guilty to touching this girl in the 1980s, I hope you don't think that that's the only time that he did it, that that's the last time he did it. That may not have even been the first time he did it. And when he did it, he was a grown man, married, and with kids of his own. He was in his early 20s and she was 12. So do you think in all this time that has passed since the 80s, he's never, ever, ever done this again? Because I absolutely think that he has. Okay, because this is a sickness. This isn't something that people just do once and they don't do it again. This is a sickness, and that's why people who do these things to children should get life sentences, in my opinion, because there is no way to rehabilitate them as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, Robert Morris, a pastor who founded the Gateway Church in Texas, pleaded guilty to 5 charges of lewd and indecent acts with a child as part of a plea agreement with the Oklahoma State Attorney General's office on Thursday. His 10-year sentence, his prison sentence was suspended. Y'all listen to this. 10 years, but it's all suspended to a 6-month stint in the county jail. 6 months in the county jail for what he did to someone who was 12. Are y'all listening to this? Because I find this absolutely egregious. This is not justice. Okay? At the end of the day, 6 months. And mind you, I want you to pay attention because here's the thing. This is him. Somebody posted this on Twitter. So he got the Trump spiritual advisor, Robert Morris, gets only 6 months in jail, okay, for what he did to this child. But while Willie Simmons gets life without parole for stealing $9. Okay, now mind you, that was likely his 3rd felony. And you get a life sentence with the 3 strikes laws. So that's probably what that stems from, but it still sounds crazy nonetheless. So the assault started in December of 1982 when the victim, Cindy Clemenshire, was 12 years old and spanned for 4 years. Morris, 21 at the time, was a traveling evangelist, okay, staying with Clemenshire's family in Hominy, Oklahoma. Isn't that something? The Oklahoma Attorney General, Genter Drummond, said this case is all the more despicable because the perpetrator was a pastor who exploited his position of trust and authority. The victim in this case has waited far too many years for this day. Morris, now 64, resigned last year from the Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas, which is one of the largest mega churches in the United States, just so you know. After Clemenshire made the allegations, he was indicted by a grand jury this year. They say today justice has finally been served and the man who manipulated, groomed, and abused me as a 12-year-old innocent girl is finally going to be behind bars. That's what Clemenshire said in a statement after coming forward. She said, my hope is that many victims hear my story and it can help lift their shame and allow them to speak up. Now, Morris is the author of several religious books and was part of Trump's Evangelical Advisory Board during his first presidency. During a 2020 visit to the megachurch, Trump described Morris and another member of his church as great people. Same thing he said about Jeffrey Epstein. Great guy, terrific guy, and then pretended not to know him. Morris confessed to moral failures last year in a statement to the Christian Post. He admitted to inappropriate sexual behavior, claiming it was kissing and petting and not intercourse. But it was wrong, he said in the statement. This behavior happened on several occasions over the next few years. In March of 1987, the situation was brought to light and it was confessed and repented of. Now, I find it interesting that he says it was just petting and kissing. I think it was a whole lot more than that. And so does the victim, clearly. With that being said, he tried to minimize it, saying, oh, it was just kissing and petting. He tried to act as though it wasn't so bad. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention to that. And when you try to do things like that, I have to ask, do you really have repentance in your heart? Are you really sorry for the actions that you've committed? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, when you try to minimize your culpability for what you have been accused of. Okay, so let's continue. We'll get back to him in a second because I'm going to show a clip of what the victim said. I think I have what the victim said, or no, actually an attorney. I'm going to show a clip of what an attorney says about him, and also a woman whose family founded the church that he initially started at. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now let's talk about Pastor Ricky Scott. And this pastor having relations in a park and got cold busted by the long arm of the law.
Calm down, y'all. The right way is the right way is number one. The right way is where is your church roll? Where's your church roll? You gotta have an active church roll. Where's your church roll? Where's the secretary of the church? No, you're not you. How you got one? The church secretary is supposed to have one. You haven't been here, but you coming on first Sunday. So how you know who's here second, third, and fourth? No. We're gonna do it right. As long as we do it right, I'm okay. I'm okay with right. As long as we do it right. Because you can't just bring folk in here that ain't been in here since September of 2044. You can't do that. And that's not going to happen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm the pastor of the church. I'm the pastor of the church and had not done nothing to nobody. The church will witness. I'm the pastor of the church and had not done nothing to nobody. I'm the pastor of the church and have not done no. Because I have not done nothing. I am the pastor. I'm the pastor of the church. And if they can't do that, I haven't done anything. I'm the pastor. Okay, come on, I'll talk to you. Come on.
While his wife was at church for a women's retreat, this pastor was at the park with another woman in his car.
See if Clipboard 2 is available. All right, you guys have some ID on you?
300 Clipboard 2. I'm clear. I'm on the flow. Go.
Are you guys married, boyfriend, girlfriend? Okay. Why would you do this in the middle of the park?
3, I copied you at a 42 door. Do you want another unit? This is the large building.
All right.
Logged in, but it's all.
I understand.
Get over it unless I climb.
Do you have your ID, ma'am?
It's in my car
Where's your car at?
on the other side.
Obviously, it's an arrestable offense, you know that. I'm not trying to lock anybody up. I think things got out of control, but it was plain to see in a public area you guys are engaging in sexual conduct, so this is your summons. And I'll give this to her. Do you have any questions on that?
Both were charged with public indecency, and both pleaded not guilty. The pastor, a former county commissioner candidate, did
Now that's just a darn shame. While his wife is attending a function at the church. This is what he's at. Having technical difficulties. Something happened and the internet cut out. The lights blinked off and then the internet went out. Okay, so let so let me know once in the chat if you all can hear me again, so we can continue on with the show. My apologies for the inconvenience. Okay, great. Okay, let's get it back started. I'm like, what the hell happened? Okay, so I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, so we were talking about the video. Okay, great. Okay, so everybody can hear me. Okay, so we were talking about the video where the pastor's mistress showed up at church. Now, that's absolutely crazy. Okay, and so this was reported through, this was reported by multiple videos. It was all over Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. People did YouTube videos about it and all of that. It was Pastor Ricky Scott Sr., the pastor at East St. Peter Missionary Baptist Church in Abbeville, Mississippi. Okay, a woman who identified saying that she was his mistress, Yolanda Beavers, showed up and interrupted the Sunday service and confronted Scott and his wife, claiming to be pregnant with his child. Now, if that isn't ghetto, someone please tell me what is. Okay, someone please tell me what is. That is so ghetto. All right, now, anyway, the congregation and church leadership were involved in getting her removed from the premises. Law enforcement, the Lafayette County Sheriff's Office, they came and intervened. And after the incident, the church then announced that Pastor Scott had been terminated from his role as of January the 8th of 2024. Isn't that such a darn shame? Just a scandal and a shame. Measure Man says it's all in God's hands now. Now, Measure Man, I hope you weren't trying to be funny with your low down self, because you sent me that right after we were talking about that pastor, John Sheptock, okay, who had no arms nor hands. Y'all are nefarious. Thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Luna said, not beavers. I know, right? I mean, it's the irony of it all for me, but let's continue. So with that all being said, Greta said these pastors are scandalous. Yes, they are. I mean, and there's some that are even worse than them. I just didn't have time to dig for every one of them. Y'all know how long it would take? Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go on to the next pastor, who is this? Oh, Pastor David Taylor. You all remember him with his fraudulent self. Oh, hold on. Yeah, we'll go to him next. Pastor David Taylor. Now, this is going to be 2 parts.
Man, look, man, this is y'all fault. How y'all believing in this man? This is another damn Jim Jones. I blame it on the damn victims, because how you don't know that this... Look, oh, bro, look what he used to have. We got some talking to do, bro.
Where does the number 2,844,000 come from on your asset and liability?
That's, I guess, the appraisal value.
Is it a home?
No, it's a residential center. We use it.
Right. So you're saying it's not something you own, but you have it listed as an asset of $2.8 million.
That's probably a mistake. Like I say, it probably should be a liability.
Resort?
Yeah, teaching. A resort where we teach and train.
On November 29th, 2013, JMMI paid over $6,000 to Louis Vuitton.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, yes, we're Louis Vuitton.
Oh, it don't matter what name it is.
You used ministry money to buy your wardrobe.
Outfit.
Your Louis Vuitton.
Well, you can call whatever you want.
So June 2014, you spent $3,500 by JMMI to Versace in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
I'm sure that's right, if it shows there.
You don't see that there's any problem when you're ministering to the poor, the sick, the needy, to be appearing in Louis Vuitton and Versace?
Well, that ain't something I purchase all the time.
Well, it looks like you did several times in...
I mean, I'm a very frugal person when it comes to this. I go to the right places to get a lot of suits, and if I get some from those places, you don't see that.
You don't see. I don't see Macy's.
No, you don't see that. Yeah, because Macy's don't have the kind of suits that I wear.
2013 and 14, you spent over. Jam of mine spent over $30,000 in your clothes. Does that sound about right?
What year was that?
13 and 14.
Oh God, yes, because I was traveling so much, yes, and sweating through all my clothes. Exactly. That probably wasn't enough.
But they have to be top of the line, expensive ones.
No, they're not top of the line clothes.
Louis Vuitton's not top of the line?
Those not where I get my suits from.
Well, you got something from them for spent thousands and thousands.
Well, the belts are more lasting, so that's good.
Come on, you're buying belts for $5,000?
No, I mean multiple belts.
So this is about 7-8 years ago, and he still got y'all out here like this, dog. This motherfucker. Look at this nigga, bro. I'm blaming this on y'all because how do y'all believe in a man like this, dog? What man supposed to have Louis Vuitton and shit on, bro? Look, bro. Dog had motherfuckers wiping his ass, working for nothing. They said he trafficking. This is what happens when you believe in man, bro.
According to the 10-count federal indictment, Taylor and Brannon allegedly forced followers to work in their call centers for little or no pay, pressuring them to meet high donation quotas. Victims allegedly lived in ministry housing or even slept at the call centers with their movements strictly controlled. Prosecutors allege Taylor, who called himself an apostle, required some followers called armor bearers to serve him around the clock. They were allegedly tasked with transporting women to him, some of whom were told to take emergency contraceptives. The indictment also accuses the pair of using millions in donations to fund a lavish lifestyle, buying luxury properties, cars, a boat, jet skis, and more, while threatening victims with humiliation, food restrictions, sleep deprivation, and even claims of divine punishment if they fail to comply.
Now, I'm trying to tell you, y'all got to understand the difference between religion and a person. Religion is spirits and spiritual, bro, and you know, a man that's here, he can't tell you nothing but what you can't tell him. You can read the same books he read, bro. Y'all stop believing that these people are special, bro.
Okay, so anyway, did you all hear that? All of this stuff that he was doing and having people bringing women to him. All so crazy. Measure Man said stole all that money and didn't get a hair transplant. Fix it, Black Jesus. I would drive by his castle and pray because his driveway stayed full. Measure Man, you are nefarious. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. This is all crazy, right? But hold on, there's more. This man should be ashamed of himself. And then had the nerve to be sitting up there with his big butt talking about he was being frugal. Say what? Just grifting the Black community.
Bro, nah, once they start doing that, that's when you're supposed to raise the flag. Once a motherfucker starts saying he's special and he can do this and that, please leave. Please leave. Now, if you're the person who like, look, I'm gonna make y'all understand this word a little better, you know what I'm saying? Woo, woo, woo. I get it. But once a motherfucker starts calling himself him and acting like him, y'all, man, dog. Y'all gotta wake up, man. Jim Jones made all the motherfuckers drink Kool-Aid because they believed in a man. That man told them this is what Jesus. Listen to me. Ain't no man talking to Jesus. I don't care what y'all say, man. I'm always told you I'm the homo. Fuck your feelings. We talking real. Ain't no man talking to Jesus God, bro. Y'all cut that shit out, man. Ain't no man down here creating miracles, man. Y'all cut that shit out, bro. Stop believing that God don't send somebody to be his person. Man, he is a powerful man, and he will come down here and tell you his damn self before he sends some nigga with Louis Vuitton drawers on, my nigga. Like, is y'all serious right now? This is wild work, man. This case is crazy, dog. Dog had money. Dog had everything, but how? He's laundering money, but how? What is he really doing? Where is the congregation? That shit is crazy, bro. This nigga, man, next level with this bullshit, man. Y'all stop believing in man, bro. That's what I'm saying. You can do the same shit he doing. If you want to scam people, if you want to give out the word, it just takes a little education, reading, nigga. Strengthen your brain for man can stop leading y'all off a bridge, bro. You talk to me what you think, man. Yes, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, but not no another man. Y'all got to understand the difference, man. Because man, this is what they do. Stop following people off the bridge, nigga. Live your life, man. God gave you your own life, not his. Because you live in his life, look what he got you doing. You out here wiping his ass for money. This is Hood News Radio. cheer him.
The things that I invest in will last longer, like such as belts.
So you got to go to Gucci or places like that.
Well, no, I buy those things from there because they have a better TV appearance for the belt.
For asking for money from the poor?
No, it's...
The right way is
we already saw those thugs. And it's just all so crazy. I mean, this is just a sad state of affairs. This is what people are doing in the church. All right. Who's doing the Lord's work? Because clearly not these pastors. If I had to guess, I wouldn't choose any of them. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's continue because there are more. Likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so with that all being said, this next one is Pastor. Who is this one? We'll just have to see because I didn't label this one.
I want to thank Pastors Robert Morris.
Oh, you know what? This is Trump talking about his former spiritual advisor, Pastor Robert. And also over in China, they arrested 30 pastors. Now, the sad thing is those people are actually trying to do the right thing, but they're being persecuted, okay, for their religious beliefs. Meanwhile, we have people over here pretending that they're so religious, but really they're just the devil incarnate. Okay, please pay attention. And after this, we're going to get into some more with Robert Morris.
I want to thank Pastors Robert Morris and Steve Dolan. They're great people. Great people with a great reputation, I have to say that. Great reputation.
Wait, do you mean this Robert Morris?
Gateway Church founder Robert Morris pleaded guilty Thursday afternoon to 5 counts of child sex abuse charges. According to the plea agreement, Morris received a sentence of 10 years probation, with the first 6 months to be spent in an Oklahoma jail.
I'm sorry, only 6 months in jail? Like, even if it was a one-time offense, that's not enough. But let's see how often it happened.
QueenAShakur says the abuse started in the 1980s when she was just 12 years old and continued for several years.
Several years. I wonder if the church elders knew about it.
Morris's time in court isn't over yet. He's still involved in 2 other pending lawsuits. QueenAShakur filed a lawsuit against Morris and the Gateway Church elders, alleging they knew about the abuse and covered it up.
But they said he had 2 more court appearances, so what's the other one for?
And another one was filed by Morris against Gateway Church to get millions of dollars in retirement pay. Gateway denies that Morris is owed money, but Morris disagrees, alleging it is part of his contract.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Was it in his contract to SA little girls? Like, what? You want millions? This is Cindy QueenAShakur now. She is doing well and is now an advocate for victims. If only men knew how to turn their pain into something productive. Oh, also, release the Epstein files.
Hey everyone, Brian with GCR. I have a very important update to give you and something to ask you to join us in prayer for. So, if you've read the news over the weekend, you've seen that there is a crackdown on the house churches in China. Zion Church was raided. Many of its members were arrested. 30 in total were arrested. 10 have been released. 20 are still imprisoned and detained. One of those is the founding pastor, Pastor Ezra. And I just want to encourage you to stand with your suffering body in China today. And I was able to speak with their interim pastor, Pastor Sean Long. And he's an incredible believer. I had the chance to meet with him in 2018 when the first crackdown of the government happened with Zion Church. He's actually in the States for this very reason. They sent him to live here to coordinate the efforts in case their church got raided and shut down. And so they're able to continue in this interim phase to meet with believers, to encourage believers as well. But what has happened is a shock, of course, and it's devastating. Many violent arrests that happened over the weekend, even elderly women who were cuffed. A young woman who just gave birth a month ago was separated from her child and arrested, but she has since been released. But what I've talked to Sean about, he is saying clearly that he wants the government in China to know they're not criminals, they're Christians, and that they need to have the freedom to worship. And what the government did back in 2018 to try to squash the house church movement actually spread it. Today, Zion Church is in over 40 cities across China. And their prayer is that God would use this very instance of persecution to continue that movement, that they could spread it to become even international, that the government in China could never shut down the church, could never stop it. And they can close church doors, but they can't close faith. So I want to encourage you right now today to pray alongside our brothers and sisters in China who are standing up and suffering for the name of Jesus, 20 who are imprisoned right now, to pray for their speedy release and pray for all of those believers at part of Zion Church that they would have a resilient and strong faith. Let's do that together. Let's join them. Let's share the stories. Let's create awareness about it. Let's create a movement of prayer towards our brothers and sisters in China to see God work in a powerful way. Thanks so much.
So that is absolutely deplorable and so egregious. These people are out here really, like I said, trying to do the Lord's work, and they're being persecuted for it. While we have these pastors over here in the United States leading their congregations astray, grifting the community, taking money and using it for all kinds of nefarious things, out here molesting people's kids and all sorts of things. This is going on in the church, but some of these Christians can be so judgmental. They should first be judging those people within their own four walls. Okay, but let's continue, because now I'm going to pull up the information on Pastor Robert Morris. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to get that in just a second. I accidentally deleted it.
The churches are shaking, and Larry Reed Live posted the video of Prophet E.J. Newton, who is a famous pastor of a megachurch. Baby, they got him on kidnapping charges, and it was during the live service of the church. There's a lot to the story. Let's talk about it. This is Nigerian-born prophet and pastor E.J. Newton of 433 Church in Miami, Florida. Now, the Miami police came this Sunday today to his church, and they tried to detain him, or they did detain him, for kidnapping his own children. Now, he posted on his page a long soliloquy about how this was a ploy of his ex-wife. Now, this information is coming from EJ's own page. Let us read. This happened during service. I've been secluded by the police, not allowed to leave. The moment I stepped off stage, our online services were flooded with false accusations. Now, they do something called Great Grace TV. They're going live as on Great Grace TV. The moment I stepped off stage, our online service was flooded with false accusations. They, the same people who recruited my ex-wife, are now working together. They have my ex-wife claiming that I'm trying to flee the country in the middle of a parenting scheduled case. A judge granted an emergency extraction. Put a pause in it. Now, this is a custody battle. I've told you guys before, I've heard from lawyers, literal lawyers, that there's no greater battle than custody. People become, the wickedest sides of people come out in custody battles. So this lady has sent the police to the church and said that the kids are being kidnapped because they did not get back in time that the courts had scheduled their visit, okay? And you are allowed to send the police when they do that. Let me continue reading. They had people come also into the service, which we spotted. This whole thing has been so weird, but let me be clear. I am not fleeing. I never planned to go anywhere. Now they're searching members' cars and preventing them from leaving church grounds. Wow. But God will prevail, and I will not stop speaking the truth and exposing darkness. If this is the cost of repentance and speaking up against occultism and witchcraft in the church, then use me, Lord. Now, this man has a book. He has a book. I'm going to show you a screenshot of the book, but it's going against the occult inside the church. So that's actually deep. Purify me, strengthen me, make me more like you. I love my children, and this breaks my heart. My babies do not deserve this. I am a great father, great husband. Unto thee, O Lord, I do lift up my soul. Psalms 25:1. Hear my cry, O Lord. Attend to my prayer. This is what victory looks like. This is what victory looks like. My message today was, and I can't see that at the bottom, and it says, yes, he did. Jesus is in my boat. Now, you guys, this is really, really deep. I'll show you the book. This is the book, and it's called Exposing Occultism in the Church, E.J. Newton. And, you know, it says it's investigation into the unsettling infiltration of occult practices within Christian congregations. With a clear, courageous voice, Newton reveals how hidden occult influences are distractions in biblical truth. So, you guys, this is deep, but I really think this is just a custody battle between him and his ex-wife, because this is his new wife. He has a new wife, and it looks like a whole different situation. The children that were in the church that were tapped on the shoulder, I don't know if this is them. It doesn't look like them because it was a screenshot of them from the back. They're asked, for their passports and everything else. But these are his children with her. I don't know if all of the children are with her, but the one in the belly is with her. And he spent Christmas with them, which was a few weeks ago. So, this lady could have been upset about the fact that he fully moved on. He looks really happy. And this could be a shot at them. But, baby, they sent the police out there to the church. And I'm like, I wonder if his congregation will ever feel the same.
So I don't think that they will, because that's absolutely nefarious. Okay, now let's go to the one and only Bishop Lamar Whitehead.
Hey guys, go over here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So Bishop Lamar Whitehead is not guilty of these charges. We are vigorously going to defend these accusations. We feel that he is being targeted and he is being turned from a victim into a villain. Now, everyone was wrong about Bishop Lamar Whitehead setting up the robbery at the church. People were arrested. He had nothing to do with that. This all stems out of a civil lawsuit that is being handled in civil court, and he will be vindicated.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Father. Thank you so much. I know I can. Thank you so much. I know. Thank you, sir. I know. Sir, come on.
Father, what is your name and birthday?
We shall not be moved. We shall not. Sir, please.
Father, please.
That stands by the water.
Guys, you gotta get out of the street.
Now they're sitting there doing that poor pastor dirty. All he was doing was praying. Okay, and they're carting him off. The ones they need to be taken away in handcuffs are the ones doing all this crime. Okay, so now let's get back into it about Robert Morris. Okay, somehow I mistakenly deleted the videos that I had already edited, but don't worry, I got you covered. We'll just go straight to TikTok and I'll pull them up from there. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here we go. Now, this is the sermon that didn't age well. When he resigned after it came out that he had an affair with a 12-year-old, I wouldn't call that an affair because a 12-year-old cannot consent to an affair. So clearly, when he did something that he had no business, which was clearly inappropriate to a 12-year-old at the age of 21, that lasted for 4 years.
Learn to lie and manipulate. Because I also had rejection, I didn't want to be rejected. So I looked for the girls that would be the most susceptible. And I learned how to spot this in girls. Please hear me. There's a reason I'm sharing this. The very thing, ladies, that the world tells you to give a man before marriage so that you can keep him is the very thing that will cause you to lose him. I looked for girls that did not have a good relationship with their father to spot that. I looked for girls that were insecure. I don't know. Now I look back on this, I can tell I did it. It wasn't like a plan that I had, but I could spot this. Girls were made to be held by men. And if they are not held, if that need is not met in a healthy way by their father, they will meet it in an unhealthy way. But you need to understand that if a man does not respect you, he cannot love you. As a matter of fact, fulfilled lust turns to hate.
I just heard this morning that Robert Morris, megachurch pastor of Gateway Church here in Texas and former spiritual advisor to Donald Trump, has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for abusing a child back in the 80s. You might be wondering why I care so much. The church that Robert Morris was a part of back in the 80s was the church that my grandfather founded called Shady Grove Church. My grandfather was his pastor at the time. My dad was about the same age as Robert Morris, and my dad told me about this woman that was like a Jezebel spirit and influenced Robert and made him stumble. So I was really shocked to hear that this Jezebel spirit was actually a 12-year-old girl. And then what happened on Christmas night, and that Robert was in his 20s and already had a wife and a child at the time. My hope is that the 6 months out of the 10 years that he's actually going to serve because of a plea deal is because he's choosing to tell the truth about this being the tip of the iceberg. This reminds me a lot of the Catholic Church and the priests that were abusing young boys. How a few big stories popped up over the years, and then we were able to see that it really was an epidemic of larger proportions, and how the Catholic Church was covering it up. I'm here to tell you, this is the tip of the iceberg. These churches, what I call cults that I grew up in, are churches that encourage people to go to their pastors and men in leadership to seek counseling, rather than going to psychiatrists, rather than going to therapists. They keep the abuse in a silo and they protect the abusers. They tell women to be subservient and to honor the head of household and to have forgiveness. They call women Jezebel spirit, influencing men and making them stumble. This reminds me a lot of the Adam and Eve story about how it was all the woman's fault for listening to the snake and eating the apple and causing the downfall of man. It's narcissistic abuse. If this sounds like you or somebody that you know, and you're remembering or you have remembered, I know that a part of my spiritual awakening broke wide open things that happened to me as a child. Things that I've always known, things that I've always remembered, but that I'm actually allowing myself to process. So I'm here with you. Tell the truth when you have capacity to whom you have the capacity to tell the truth to. Sometimes you have to be your own advocate. Sometimes you have to tell the truth in the face of people not believing you. I'm going to link the news story, and I'm going to link video evidence of Robert Morris being the spiritual advisor to Trump and how Trump told him that he's a very good person. I hope that Robert tells the truth. I'm sending love to you on this Friday. I'm with you. I stand with you. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, or resources or ways to find avenues to support you through your journey of telling the truth, DM me, reach out to me. I'm here for you.
My name is Jody Neal. I'm a 20-year lawyer based in Dallas and a former chief of crimes against children. Let me tell you, yesterday in Oklahoma, Robert Morris was sentenced to 6 months county jail and 10 years probation for molesting a 12-year-old girl named Cindy Clemishire for 4 years. She clearly has been through a couple decades of the ringer. She's 55 now and went through the civil process for several years until finally a grand jury indicted this man for the crimes that he committed on her body when she was 12. His lawyer during the civil case blamed her and said that the 12-year-old girl was to blame for him molesting her. She should not have gotten in the bed with him. Look, this is why I am bothered by 6 months in jail, because that kind of thinking, the kind of perpetrator thinking, cannot be fixed with a jail sentence. And there is no time when this man will walk the earth when our children are safe from him. Justice must continue to be served for Robert Morris.
That's the absolute truth. No lies detected from either of those two women. Okay, 6 months is ridiculous. A slap on the wrist. And this is what they always do. Okay, this is nothing unusual. And the victim has fought long and hard, and that's all he's going to get after she's been left with mental trauma and anguish. Okay, thoughts that she can't get out of her head for all these years. He gets 6 months. Isn't that something? But they say that justice is blind. Yeah, okay. But let's continue because there's more info on him. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. And also, I do have that video of the victim.
Robert Morris, the founder of one of our nation's largest churches and a former spiritual advisor to President Trump, pled guilty to child sex assault charges. He entered that plea really moments ago here in this Oklahoma courthouse. In exchange, he received a 10-year sentence. The first 6 months of that will be served here in Osage County in jail. The remaining 9.5 years may be served as probation in the city of Dallas. We have been covering this criminal case since March, when Morris was indicted on 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child for molesting a young girl here in Oklahoma 4 decades ago. He was facing up to 20 years in prison for each of those charges. But as part of this plea deal made today, he is receiving a reduced sentence. Again, 6 months behind bars. He will, though, have to register as a sex offender when he gets out.
Okay, so you all heard that, honey. At the end of the day, these people are being exposed, just like I told you all. The Most High is exposing them slowly but surely. Okay, they thought they're going to do all this dirt and just keep getting away with it, and all of this stuff that Trump and his nefarious, corrupt administration is doing, they're being exposed too. Okay, they're all being called out for the devils that they are, and I'm loving it.
I learned to lie and manipulate.
Now listen to how he explains how he learned to lie and manipulate and to spot those girls that were insecure to take advantage.
Because I also had rejection, I didn't want to be rejected. So I looked for the girls that would be the most susceptible. And I learned how to spot this in girls. Please hear me. There's a reason I'm sharing this. The very thing, ladies, that the world tells you to give a man before marriage so that you can keep him is the very thing that will cause.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already played this video. My bad, beloveds. Okay, my mistake. Now, with that all being said, do you all hear this? The nerve of him to be sitting up there giving advice after he's done all this dirt. Okay, but what I find also interesting is the fact that he got only 6 months and nobody's going in about that. Now, some people online on TikTok specifically compared his sentence to Diddy's sentence, specifically because the people that he did things to, or the person that we know for a fact that he did something to, was under the age. And how many times has he done it? He did it to her for 4 years and only got 6 months, but he surely has likely done it to others as well.
File sentencings. One big disparity. Robert Morris could have received 99 years in prison, but instead was sentenced to 6 months after pleading guilty to child sexual abuse. In contrast, Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison on 2 prostitution-related counts. This creates a stark gap in jail time, with Combs facing more than 4 years behind bars compared to Morris's 6 months.
Have you ever seen this guy before? You probably haven't, but a lot of people have. His name is Robert Morris. And just like Diddy, he was also sentenced the other day. But before I break down these sentences, let me tell you a little bit more about this guy. He's the founder of the largest church in Texas, and he's a former spiritual advisor to your current president, Donald Trump. He was just sentenced to 10 years for child molestation. He molested a child by the name of Cindy Clemenshire. She was 12 years old when he first started molesting her. This guy has been molesting children since the 80s. Like I said, he was sentenced to 10 years, but he'll only serve 6 months. And for this to be such a high-profile case, I'm surprised the media hasn't picked it up. So I just thought that I would share it with you guys. These are both bad men. These men both deserve to be in jail for a very long time.
Okay, but he got 6 months, all right? And they're barely talking about this, like he said. Where's Fox News? How come Fox News isn't talking about Pastor Robert Morris? How come they're not talking about John Sheptalk? I have several questions. Okay, where are the people who were going so hard in the paint on Diddy, saying the jury got it wrong? Why aren't they reporting on this pastor who was also Trump's spiritual advisor? Oh, that's right, because they don't report on people who don't look like them. Okay, that's what they don't do. All right, and so with that all being said, let's go to the victim who is now 55 years old, has lived with the trauma all of her life, Cindy Clemenshire.
When I told, I did feel as though I was the one at fault, even to the extent that Robert Morris's wife, Debbie, called to tell me she forgave me. So still trying to mature.
Let's clarify that. The wife forgave you for being a 12-year-old who
Yes.
her husband was having sex with, right?
Correct.
How did you take that? What did that do to you?
Well, at 17 and then being family friends, I was thankful because I felt like I would done something wrong. And I had been treated, though, as though I had done something wrong by Robert, like making me the guilty one or a part of something that I chose when I knew nothing. I mean, 82 was a very different time when we didn't carry computers around in our hands and we had 6 channels maybe on our televisions. So innocence was very different than it is now most of the time. But that journey from 17 to 37, it wasn't until, even with years of counseling, that I could accept the term abuse. I was 35, the first time I truly accepted and believed that he abused me, that it was criminal, and I understood what grooming was, and that changed the course of my journey to more healing, and there's anger, of course, involved in that. But I was having children. You know, I have 3 sons. They currently range from 17 to 32, and I also am a grandmother of 3. And I think that for a woman, I can only speak for myself and being a woman, but that journey involves protecting your children and how you do that and how much, feeling more shame if you talk about it publicly. We did privately go to people throughout the last however many decades, 3.5 decades, sharing with people in the pulpit in churches across the country about what he did to me and my family, in hopes that they would take him out of the pulpit, because we knew legally there was really nothing we could do at that, the time of it.
Yeah, he should never have been in anybody's pulpit, okay? A whole devil at the end of the day. And then to just get a slap on the wrist. It's just egregious, okay? Life is so unfair. Absolutely so unfair. But anyway, let's continue. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm not sure if I showed you all this one, this parish pastor. I don't think I did.
Players, this is a disgrace. So, a joint investigation by the Louisiana State Police and the FBI that was focused on actual trafficking of minors in and around the Monroe, Louisiana area has resulted in the arrest of a pastor and a teacher. According to reporting on September 24th, 43-year-old Boris Braggs, who was a 4th grade teacher and a pastor, was arrested after law enforcement alleged that he solicited sexual activity from someone he knew was a minor on a website that is used to sell commercial sexual intercourse. Let's talk about it. So according to law enforcement, they placed an ad on a website that is commonly used for the sale of sexual activity, and the ad contained photos of 2 undercover law enforcement officers with the caption, "Sexy hot girls in town for a few days, in calls only. Me and my mini are in town, hit us up, no police." The ad contained 4 photos of the undercover officers with emojis placed over their faces and a phone number they could be reached at. According to law enforcement, at 4:09 p.m., the suspect, Boris Braggs, allegedly messaged the number regarding the ad, asking if they were available. The undercover explained that she was unavailable, but her mini was available. She went in detail about her mini, saying that she was 15 years old. According to court records, Boris Braggs responded, "You must be trying to get me put in jail." The undercover agent, posing as a 15-year-old female, received a message from Boris Bragg shortly after saying, and I quote, "Hey, how are you?" He went on to say he was looking to hook up later. However, he was told her age and he did not want to get in trouble. He asked about meeting up for a full service, which is street slang for full intercourse. He went on to ask for full body pics and how much it was going to cost. After being told the rate, he said that he was nervous due to her age, but asked her what she would do in the bedroom. After a very explicit exchange where the undercover explained to him what she would be willing to do at 15 years old, he set up a meeting with her for 9:30 that night. He continued to express nervousness about her age. However, he showed up at the meetup location at 8:45 p.m. He was employed as a fourth grade teacher at Robinson Elementary School in Monroe, Louisiana. They said that they are aware of the incident and that the employee was not on school campus and it did not involve any of their students. So Boris has been charged with trafficking children for sexual activity, indecent behavior with a juvenile, computer-aided solicitation of a minor, and felony carnal knowledge of a minor. He's being held on a $500,000 bond. Now, he's a pastor of Calvary Baptist Church. They have not issued a statement at this point. This is just disgusting. Y'all put your thoughts in the comments. It's Double D Mo for the Black Grit News.
Okay, that's just a darn shame. Another pastor bites the dust. Okay, all of these freaks up here behind the pulpit grifting and just doing all kind of unsavory things. And in many cases, the church covers it up. Okay, and then they get mad at the victims and shame them and blame them and demonize and vilify them to the point they are no longer welcome in the church, rather than protecting them and defending them and speaking up for them. But that's because some of these people absolutely act like they are involved in a cult. Okay, like Jim Jones. That's what some of these people absolutely act like. Okay, like they worship the pastor more than they worship and praise God. And that's crazy. It's all true. And the pastor can do no wrong in their eyes. And anyone who comes against the pastor, speaking words of truth that are not savory, that are quite frankly unsavory, well, many times these people are ridiculed and cast out and shunned. Okay, that's just sadly how it goes. And this is all cult-like behavior. Now, with that all been said, before I roll out of here, I want to say this. For those of you who have memberships, do not forget that I'm posting a membership video. Okay, it should be up. It's 5:10 now. It should be up in an hour. Okay, but with that all been said, also, there was something else I wanted to tell you all. Oh, yes. Let's talk about how dangerous AI is. Because one of the things that I came across when I was getting my research on these pastors and all the wicked things they have been accused of and convicted of, there were some videos that I saw going viral, and these videos were all AI. And it was videos of Black pastors accused of doing something. They never said what, but people were left to speculate and draw their own conclusions. And I saw some people in the comments saying things like, oh, well, what did he do? Did he essay somebody in the church or whatever? But these are fake AI generated videos, and I'm going to show them to you. And people, you need to be careful. Okay, AI is demonic, and it's going to be used in so many nefarious ways to fool people, to make false allegations against people, just to keep up chaos and confusion, just like the devil does. Remember when Ice Cube said that AI is demonic, and I agreed? It absolutely is. Okay, it is nothing but a tool that they're going to use to sow division, specifically for those of us who are truth speakers. Okay, they're going to plant fake stories, fake news, and all of that, hoping that you'll get caught up in it and fall for the BS. Okay, so with that all being said, let's go to one of these AI videos. I have a couple that I'm going to share, and it's a Black pastor in each of them. So likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here we go.
Lord have mercy, they got the pastor in cuffs. Now, pastor, you know damn well.
I can't believe it. We better be getting our donations back. I know that.
Watch your step, Reverend. Right this don't make no sense.
Now, the first thing that caught my attention with that one was when they said the ladies in the background as the pastor's being arrested. First of all, the pastor's walking in slow motion. Why is he walking so darn slow? And then when the ladies is yelling at pastor, you know darn well. And then somebody's talking about we need to get our donations back. And I'm asking myself, these people don't care if their pastor's being arrested. They must know he's nefarious. And if they know, then why are they at his church? So I said, something's not right about that. So that's when I started paying attention. It's all fake. And here's another fake one. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Actually, I think this might be 2 clips that I put together.
This is an AI video. This is an AI video. We cook. We cook.
Breaking news from Alabama. A pastor was arrested inside his own church while preaching to dozens of worshipers, and the footage has sparked outrage across the country. Pastor Samuel Johnson, a 54-year-old African-American minister, was finishing his Sunday sermon when several patrol cars stopped outside the church. Within seconds, 3 officers entered the temple and walked straight to the altar. "Pastor Johnson, you're under arrest," shouted one of them as children cried and church members yelled, "Show some respect!" One officer knocked a Bible to the floor, and silence filled the sanctuary. But one of the worshipers recorded something that changed everything. A document proving that the pastor had been mistaken for another man with the same name. The error was devastating. But what Pastor Johnson did next, in the name of faith and justice, left the entire nation speechless. Tap the plus button and comment "faith" to see part 2.
These people are something else. Clearly AI. You could tell by the man's voice who was speaking, but on the other ones, with those people yelling in the background, you can't always tell. Okay, you cannot always tell, and they're getting real slick, even more slick about it. I meant to show you all a video. I'll show it to you all tomorrow, but there's a video where they made an AI video of Janet Jackson. At the beginning of the video, that actually is Janet Jackson, and she says something, and then it flips to showing pictures, but then you hear her voice like a voiceover, and that's no longer her talking. But the way they did it is so slick. If you're not really paying attention, you would miss it. Okay, so you all be careful because they have a whole lot of tricks up their sleeve, is all I'm saying. Okay, so with that all being said, DJ Big Six said, this is just crazy. It is. Vince I am said, interesting how these videos are targeting Black pastors so far. Well, yes, and you see, here's the thing. These videos came out after these pastors that had something to do with Trump got exposed. Okay, John Sheptock and Robert Morris. That's when those videos came out. So clearly, just to start confusion. All right, so please pay attention. With that all being said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, and never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Lately, I've been feeling so lost. My soul is calling, but I can't hear her. When I wake up to my reflection, it's a stranger in the mirror. It's a scary feeling when your ratchet side no longer resonates. Listening to my old words, I find that she and I just don't relate. I don't even like the men I used to date. And I've been crying, feeling strange because I don't know who I am no more when everything about me's changed. Nobody talks about the grief you feel for someone who's still alive. Do you send condolences or congratulations when those old parts of you die? For so long, I just thought I was dying. Now I'm in the middle feeling torn. Because the old me had to rest in peace for this new version to be born. I think I hold back on my growth because I'm scared of what comes after. Turning the page isn't that easy when you don't know what's in that chapter, but I've seen what's in my old books though. I know what my old behaviors will get me, and I can evolve out of them patterns if the fears of the unknown just let me. They say you're gonna lose a lot of people when you start climbing to the top. And just because it gets lonely, it doesn't mean that you should stop. I've been so intentionally lonely these days. Because the path I'm on isn't meant for group conversation. For some eras of your growth, you can only bloom in isolation. So it's just been months of being by myself, locked inside my room. The caterpillar season ended and I was forced into my cocoon. In the beginning is confusion. And just when you think you're about to die, the chrysalis cracks open and reveals this butterfly. But the scary part of emerging is you don't know what taking flight brings. And everyone tells you change is beautiful, but butterflies can't see their wings. And everything happens so fast once you start moving with intention. You have to hold space for your evolution and give in to your ascension. You have to accept that you're not the you that you know and step back and see who's at the core. Because this person you're becoming is not someone you've met before, so let them soar. Let them become who they're meant to be, even if you don't understand it. Because a life that's lived in purpose ain't never gonna look how you planned it. It's 3 parts to every journey that start, middle, and end. And you'll never know what point you at until you're brave enough to begin. So go ascend.
Here's a quick prayer that you can pray if you feel like you've been under attack. Father, I thank you for my life, and I thank you that you have a purpose and plan for it. And right now, you've given me authority in my own tongue to come against anything the enemy has orchestrated to destroy me. I cancel any words spoken against me, be it intentionally or unintentionally, that are not for my good. I thank you that I am the head and not the tail. And I thank you that I am hidden in the secret place of God, out of the reach of the enemy. I thank you for the table that is being prepared for me in the presence of my enemies. And I thank you that no weapon fashioned against me shall prosper, not yesterday, today, tomorrow, or ever. It is well. It will be well, and it will end well. In Jesus' name, I'm covered and protected. Amen.